Hello. I'm still not feeling super well, but I thought I would try something else because I'm kind of bored. So this is Somerset Studio. It's a mixed media journaling magazine and it's very thick. Usually they sell these at bookstores like Barnes and Noble. It's $16.99 in the US and $22.99 in Canada. And I've always wanted one, and I got one this past month, or I got one for my birthday, so I got it a couple weeks ago. Bought it at the store. And one of the things I had no idea they had in it was they have their own little idea things. And so since I am still so new at, journaling in general, I thought it would be fun to read through these and then try a few of them. So this way I'll read them all so that inspires other people to do some stuff, and then we'll go for it. I didn't think I saw any in the beginning part of the book. So I didn't see any in there, but when I go to this first page here. So what we'll do is we'll read through all of them, and then like I said, I'll try a couple of them. So this one says, it's no wonder that circles and dots are perhaps the most commonly stamped shapes in mixed media artwork because of how easy it is to find objects to help create these impressions. From bottle caps to pencil erasers, just about anything can be used. Stamped as many circles and dots on this page as you can, using as many different objects as possible. So that's very fun. And then you can share your creation and tag them, which is really cool. The next one says that if you're like most people, you probably grab more napkins at restaurants than you need. Did you realize you can use them to create faux rice paper? This also works well with novelty printed napkins. To do so, start peeling off the top layer of napkin, apply a thin layer of gel or decoupage medium to a sheet of wax paper, and then carefully place the napkin face down onto the adhesive. Smooth out any wrinkles or air bubbles, and once the napkin is secured, apply another level of gel or decoupage over the top to seal it. Allow the medium to dry completely before gently peeling the faux rice paper away from the wax paper. And you can now use this versatile material in your mixed media art. For a more authentic look, consider misting the paper with water to soften it or add texture by crumpling it before applying it to your project. Fill the spaces provided with your new favorite pieces of rice paper. That one I think is really doable, so that one we can definitely have fun with a little bit later. This one says, have you ever imagined or ever finished a collage or a journal page and felt like it's lacking something or it's still too perfect? The next time you feel that way, consider damaging. That's right, sanding your artwork in some areas or applying fire might be just what it needs. Create a journal page or a collage on this page, and then when it's thoroughly dry, distress it with sandpaper and fire. Note, use caution if working with fire. That's fun. Let's see, so the next one's back here, and I'm just gonna move this off of it so I can read it. It says, though many rubber stamps have tried to replicate, there's nothing quite like a real coffee ring on a paper. Before finishing your morning cup, pour a little into a dish and use it in this exercise. Place the mug in the coffee and then stamp it on the page. This technique works well with tea and even watercolor paints or inks. Fill this page with authentic coffee ring impressions. That would be really fun to do with watercolors. I would enjoy that. When it comes to doodling patterns, many artists repeatedly find themselves making the same ones, which can either be because the artist has a few favorites or can't think of anything else to draw. All it takes is a little practice to build up a collection of patterns and doodles so you're never short on inspiration when you need it. Doodle or draw one pattern a day in the boxes below for the next 30 days. For me, this one would be eyes. When I was a kid, I would draw on desks all the time, and I would draw eyes. So I think that would be fun to do. And I'm not even that, not even good at the eyes. I just like drawing them. Give your art an ethereal feel. Try layering an image printed on transparent paper like a napkin or tissue paper over a collaged piece. The rich paper elements can still be seen through the focal image, and the spaces below collage various paper pieces, playing with color and palettes and patterns, and when happy with the compositions, decoupage medium over it to adhere the focal image from the napkin or tissue over the collage. Huh. I would never have thought of that. I've been using napkins so far as backgrounds, so that would actually be really interesting to try. Okay. So next says, if you love the beauty and texture of handmade paper but hate the messiness and time it takes to make it, then you'll want to try making your own faux handmade paper. Apply a generous layer of decoupage medium to this page. While the adhesive is wet, add decorative elements like dried flowers, leaves, or string. Cover the elements with pieces of tissue paper, smoothing gently. Apply another layer of adhesive to seal everything and let the paper dry completely. Interesting. So that would be really pretty with flowers and stuff. I have like a bunch of like flower pieces. Molded paper shapes known as cast paper are a great way to add embellishment to mixed media, but you might not have everything you need to do this. Fortunately, with the help of this faux paper casting tutorial, that's not a problem. It gives you a lot of control over the final product. Follow the steps on the next page to create your own shapes and adhere your favorite things to these pages. Layer plain white tissue over a rubber stamp, using water to help it adhere. Apply thin layers of decoupage medium or watered down glue with a soft paintbrush, pressing the tissue into the stamp's details. Repeat for 3 to 5 layers, smoothing each layer to ensure bonding. Allow the tissue to dry completely on the stamp and then carefully peel it off, and you can use this textured design as paint or ink it. Huh, that's amazing. Working on multiple pieces at the same time is a great way to ensure a series feels cohesive. Here's another trick. Whatever you do the first piece, like adding stenciling, stamping, or washi tape, or etc., do the rest of the pieces but in different areas. This guarantees that all the pieces will have the same element with slightly different compositions. Use the squares to practice working on multiple pieces simultaneously. Okay. And there's this one, and it says, many people are quick away to throw away junk mail, especially if it comes in security envelopes, but as mixed media artists, we know better. Peek through the window can offer an interesting element to be used in work, while security pattern offers endless collage fodder. Deconstruct some of your mail, cut or tear the various security patterns onto strip squares, and glue your favorite designs onto this page. So you can either use your favorite little pictures from the junk mail or the security barcodes. That's cool. I wouldn't have thought of that. Asymmetric writing is a form of art that uses writing like marks without any specific meaning. In simpler words, it's a form of making what resembles writing. Often when you first look at it, it looks as though it says something, but upon closer inspection, there are no real words. On these pages, practice asymmetric writing, developing your own style that resembles words and letters without actually saying anything. Mine would just be little loop-de-loos and squiggles, because I really like the look of cursive, even though it's very hard to write in. So those are the different ones, and I think we can do parts of each of these if we wanted to. So that could be really fun to do. So let's get trying. So on this first one, just to remind you, this is circles and dots, because it's easy to find them to create those impressions. So we're going to stamp a whole bunch of circles and dots using different elements. And maybe it would be fun to use a palette for this page, just so that we're not using up too many different pieces of, or too many different paints or stamps or whatever we choose to do. So let's go ahead and take a look at the palette book. And I'm just gonna open it. I like to use Vibes, which is by Color Palettes. It's by M. Sands. So I'm just gonna flip to a random page. Here we go. And I think I could find, I kind of like this. I feel like I could do this pretty good. So we need an ochre yellow. Which this like matches that almost immediately. We need kind of like a tannish pink or like a peachy color. Let's see. I'm thinking, ooh, that actually matches this color over here. So we need an even lighter tan. Let's see here. What do I have that we could do? Even lighter tan. That kind of goes together. We'll do that. And then we need like a light pink and a light purple. A light pink and a light purple. That's about the closest pink I have to match that. Let's see about a purple. Maybe one of these two. I don't have a purple that's that lavender, I don't think. These are my purples that I've got. I could mix some white in there, I guess, and try to make it. If I was going to do that, it would be this one. Or why don't we just use this one? Because this one I know is not actually opaque. That might work. Let's see how it goes here. Okay. So we've got all of our colors that we're going to use for this. And we'll just kind of take some examples of different things we can use here. So let's see, I know I've got some plastic cups around here somewhere. A plastic cup would be a fun size circle that we could do. So let me see if I can find a cup real quick. Pretty sure, oh, here's some. And one of the best things about this cup is we not only have a top, bottom, so we can do two different types of stamps with this. I'm going to use the purple for this one, and what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm just going to rub it around with my finger. I think this could be a pretty cool stamp. Yeah, like that, and go. More. Not really putting much, just because I don't think we need that much. Okay. So I've got that now. And then let's do the pink next. And for the pink, I'm gonna do this side here. Or maybe we can do it with that peachy pink. This one maybe. No, I think I want this pink. This pink looks fun. I'm just gonna wipe it, just like that. Oh no, they look like nipples. Oh no. All right, well, that made it interesting, eh? Okay, so now we've got 2 of our 3 colors, so let's find about 3 more different types of circles here. We could do some small circles. We could use the bottom of this chopstick, and we'll use this tan color, because I don't really like the tan, so I don't know how much I'm gonna like it anyway. So I'm just gonna take just a bit and wrap it around. So that looks pretty good. We got like a hint of that color. I'm gonna set that there so it dries. Of course I would use something I use all the time, right? Okay, and then they did mention erasers. So I'm gonna find like an eraser that I don't mind if it gets gross. Let's see here, an eraser. Or maybe the bottom of a marker. That could be good. So I'm gonna use the bottom of one of my markers. We'll use the bottom of this one. Or maybe one of these ones. Do one of these have like that? Okay, yeah. I was hoping more for one that had like a plain back. Ooh, maybe we could use a colored pencil. That could be fun. Let's use a color that I don't use very often. Here we go. Here's the back of a colored pencil. Let's do this color and that. Reround it a bit. If that looks pretty good. And then lastly we have the ochre, and I wanted to do kind of a good size for the ochre. Maybe the bottom of this. It's a chapstick. Got lots of chapsticks hanging around here. Okay, so let's do that ochre. Oh no, I squeezed a lot more out than I was hoping for. That's okay. Okay. All right. Now it no longer looks like there's just a bunch of nipples everywhere. Always a good time though. Yeah, I like the look of that. So now it matches our vibe, and we've filled this page and it looks great. So I'm just gonna wipe everything off that I used real quick. And I always think it's important to date things because you want to see how you're improving over time. Unfortunately, I once dated someone who said that I never improved, no matter how much art I did. So that bothers me quite a bit, so I always like to go ahead and just sign and date things. There we go, and then we'll dry it up. There we go. And if we're still worried about it, I can also put a piece of tissue paper in it. That way nothing is sticking together, because I want to work on the other page too. All right, so let's take a look at our next page here. And on this one, it's talking about using faux rice paper. So give me a few minutes and I'm just gonna get different types of napkins. That way we can do this, because I understand this one. I know exactly what we're doing here, so I would not mind doing this one at all. So I will be right back with those napkins. All right, so for this one, I'm pretty sure when they're talking about napkins that you grab from restaurants, they probably mean these brown ones. So I think this is definitely gonna be the first one we'll do. So this is like from McDonald's or something. So they're just going through little thing. Now this one I don't think has any layers to it. Or if it does, I certainly don't see it. So I'm just gonna cut a square out of this. Yeah, I don't think this has other layers to it. Okay. And then I'm just gonna refold that and I'll put it elsewhere to use later. Because you never know, maybe I'll want brown at some point. I've never actually used brown before. So I need to cut that down just a little bit. All right. There we go. So we'll do that. It looks like I need to get back out my matte medium and my brush. My brush was in the other room because I'd been using it. So this is my brush that I like to use. So I have two different types. I have Mod Podge with gloss in it, or a matte medium. I have not really had a reason to use the one with gloss yet. That one was, I think I got at a garage sale or something. So I'm just gonna go with what I have open already, which is the matte medium. And I'm just gonna slather it. And cover my whole square with it. And then it said, slow pair of napkins to start, peel off the top layer of napkin, apply to a sheet of wax paper. See, that doesn't really make sense because we need it for this, but that's okay. I think in the actual journal, you're supposed to decoupage down different napkins. But if I was going to use it as rice paper to keep, I would do it on the sheets is what it's saying to do. But this one, I'm just gonna swatch down here. There we go. And that looks good and layered. Then I also have this kind of tall area right here, which I figured I just used, or I just cut a piece from whenever I was doing my girl that's about that long. Yeah, that's gonna work out nicely. So I'm just gonna cut it down just a wee bit, because I was making a girl for a journal napkin, and I actually used this napkin already, and I was like, hey, I already have a long piece, which is perfect. So we'll put that one there. It's funny, I feel like before this year I didn't care anything about decoupage, and now I find myself doing it the most often. Okay, I'm gonna kind of move it towards the middle. Ooh, no. There we go. And we'll have some crinkles in there, but that's all right. I don't mind that. It gives it kind of a fabric-y look. Very pretty. Okay, so we've got that, and I have another florally one that I really wanted to do, just because I think it's a beautiful napkin, and I was thinking this napkin. Let's look at how gorgeous that is. Maybe we can do it like that. So I'm just going to cut a corner of it, I believe. That. Okay, it's pretty decent size. And then let me see if there's any, if I already got in between the liner or not, because I'm not quite sure on that one. Let's see. I think I already separated it. Yeah. Okay, so this is the main napkin. Cool. All right, so I think I'm gonna put that one in this corner so it's not getting too carried away with that one. There. I just think that that is beautiful, and I can't wait to use this napkin in a project. But ever since I got my pack, I'm like, what can I use that in? I was actually originally going to use this one with the girl that I made, but then I ended up going with this one because the colors were better. And if you don't know what girl I'm talking about, I literally just made her. Let me grab her. She is this girl right here. So in the background, right in here, is where the napkin is. Well today, so I wanted to try to do some things to cheer myself up, and this was one of the things I wanted to do. Okay, so we got that on there, and then let's see about a couple of these other napkins here. I'm just gonna lay that there for a second. I've got a few different others. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be interesting for the long one because it's like a stripe. So possibly this one. We've got blue and butterflies. We've got that one. Ooh, that's pretty. You might want to square up that. More flowers. These are kind of interesting flowers, like leaves and stuff. Ooh, we've got a queen butterfly. That could be fun. Set that one to the side. These butterflies, flamingos are always fun. This one's like a wedding one. Got some bugs. And then more flowers. Flowers. These are kind of painted on looking flowers. I like that. So I'll set this one to the side as well. Oh, this is a pretty butterfly one. Got that. Some more roses. Got that one. All right, let me see how many I've got over here now, because I just kind of put a bunch over here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll do this one. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna do this one because I feel like I would really like that down here. That just looks like it would be satisfying. So I'm gonna just cut off a stripe here. There we go. Fold that back up so I can use it later. And we're gonna separate it. This one is not separated, so I do want to separate this one. Oh, here it is. Here we go. And I think I'm gonna get rid of that rough edge right there. Excuse me. Goodness. All right. So I think I'll like this one right here like that. I think that'll look really pretty. So as you can tell with napkins, I really like florals. It's funny, I don't find myself to be an overly girly person, but I actually do enjoy fairly girly things. All right, yeah, I think that looks really good. Okay, and then we need something for that top corner up there, so let's look for something real quick. Let's see here. Want something to kind of, excuse me. Let's do the butterfly one, so this one. And we just want a square, but I want the square to have that butterfly in the center of it because I think that's a really pretty butterfly. So give me just 1 second to cut a butterfly out. Napkin, and we need to separate it. There it is right there. Okay, and we want this big boy, but I kind of want this other butterfly too. So something like that, maybe. I think this square is still a little big, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So maybe something like that there. Oh, that's still too big. Okay. Something where we get a hint of everything in here because I want the plants and the butterflies. So let's try that. I think that should be okay. It is still a little bit bigger than my other piece of napkin, but whatever. This is our journal. We can do whatever we want. Because I asked it, so. Alright. So let's slop some matte medium on here. Okay, that looks nice and soupy. So then we're just going to put her down and go for it. Yeah, there we go. Everybody looks just different enough to where it looks interesting. There we go, that's very pretty. All right. So the next one we've got is this flamingo one. And for the flamingo, I think I'm gonna put in the middle. Because that way this page gets plenty of different colors going on. So I think I'm just gonna go for it and cut a square out like this. Okay. And then I am going to separate it. There we go. I'm gonna put it right here. It needs to be cut down just a little bit more. Do you like that? When I'm looking for my scissors, I make scissors with my hands. Alright. So we can do that one there, and that'll look pretty cool. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna put our friend here in the middle. There we go. Man, it's so satisfying whenever it goes on the paper like that. There we go. So now we've got ourselves a flamingo. All right, and then next, let's see what we've got here. We've got this napkin. And I'd like the insects, I think. I'm gonna cut a square out of this one, and then I'm gonna play around with it and see how I can get the most insects in it. Like this. I like how the bees are in that. Let's see, so we can cut it down a little bit right here. And then a little bit right here. Yeah, I think that'll make for a nice corner piece though. Oh, don't stick, little friend. There we go. Alrighty. And then let's separate our piece here. There we go. I think especially for someone like me who is completely new at stuff like this, I think these are actually really fun and fascinating to do. Pretty easy to find around your house because I mean I could have easily just used different types of brown napkins from restaurants and would have still had the same effect. I just so happened to have bought these lately. But yeah, if you're not someone who's bought them, then just play, you know? Maybe do like a crinkled up one and then put it down, you know? Could be fun. There's a hair under there, I can see it, but it's under, so it's gonna stay. Boo. Oh well, that's fine. Okay, and then my last square, I really liked these kind of painted looking flowers, so I think those will be my last ones. Something like that. And then let me fix this corner here because it looks pretty strange. Okay. And I'm gonna peel this apart. Oh no, I ripped a piece. Ooh, that did not want to come apart. Interesting. First napkin that's fought me. It's like, I want to stay with my mama. Okay. And just like that, the whole page is completed. So yeah, I really, really am enjoying this. This is really nice. And this over here is drying a little bit. So I can probably just hit it with my heat gun. And I should be able to close this. If I'm worried about it, I can put another one of these sheets in between it. But yeah, looks really good. So hopefully I've given you some really fun ideas. We read through this whole book and then I did a couple of pages. So we did this page here where we were finding a whole bunch of different circles, and this page is almost dry now. And then we did this page where we just decoupaged them down, a bunch of napkins to use. And they said if you did the same thing on a wax paper that you should actually be able to peel them back up again and they'll have a like a faux rice paper texture to it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. Bye.